Hello guys, on this occasion, we will try to summarize an anime entitled Tate no Yuusha no Nariagari. This anime is an adaptation of a Japanese light novel written by Aneko Usagi. Tells the story of Iwatani Naofumi, who is summoned to another world, or rather the game world, along with 3 other people to save the world. He was equipped with a legendary shield, while the other was a weapon to attack. Before entering the content of the story, for those of you who have just arrived, please subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification, so you don't miss the latest information from us. Alright guys, let's get straight to the point. Here's Tate no Yuusha no Nariagari Episode 1. At the beginning of the story, the waves crash on the edge of the sea and birds fly into the sky. Looks like a knight sitting pensive alone, then a ball rolled towards him. A girl came up to the knight. The knight turned and handed the ball to the girl. It turned out to be a dream. The dream of a young man named Iwatani Naofumi, an otaku and 4th semester student. For your information, otaku is a term for anime and manga fans. He lives with his family and earns pocket money for making a big contribution to his family. That morning Naofumi went to the library to read a light novel. When he was about to pick up a book, suddenly another book got stuck, causing several books to fall from the shelf. He accidentally found a book with a red cover entitled The Legend of the 4 Hero Weapons. The book tells the story of 4 heroes from another world who are summoned to save the world. The 4 heroes have different weapons. There are swords, spears, arrows and shields. Each hero has its own strengths and stories. Likewise with the shield hero, but when the shield hero chapter sheet is turned over, the page is blank. Naofumi was even more surprised by the bright light coming from the book, causing him to fall and wake up in a strange place. At that time some strange people appeared who asked for his help to save the world. Apart from Naofumi, there were also 3 other people. It turns out that the 4 of them are heroes who wield 4 legendary weapons that were summoned by ancient rituals. The situation became tense, as the sword, spear and arrow heroes felt that they were being toyed with. They want to return to their original world, and ask for compensation for their services if they have to save this world. The 4 of them were finally brought before King Melromark. The king wanted them to introduce themselves. The first is Amaki Ren, a high school student. The second is Kitamura Motoyasu, a student. Followed by the third, namely Kawasumi Atsuki, a high school student. Before Naofumi could introduce himself, the king immediately cut him off and ignored him. Even after forcing introductions, the king still didn't care. This suddenly made Naofumi so annoyed. The king explained about what happened. The world is predicted to be destroyed through a wave of attacks. The wave had to be stopped because it took a lot of victims. Every country has a dragon hourglass to know when the wave is coming. The first wave has occurred. Fortunately it was passed thanks to the efforts of the knights and soldiers of the kingdom. After going through the first wave, the kingdom realized that it needed the strength of a legendary weapon hero. Again Ren, Motoyasu and Atsuki asked for compensation for their services to the kingdom. It was also approved by the government. Their current status was level 1, they had to adventure to level up. Naofumi proposes to form a party with the other heroes. It turned out that it was not allowed because the 4 legendary weapons gave off reactions to each other. So they have to travel on their own. The next day the 4 of them return to the king. It appears the knights who will accompany them on an adventure. The knights chose their own leader. Naofumi was very surprised that no one wanted to join him. He protests the king, "How did this happen? Until there is one beautiful girl who is willing to be Naofumi's only party." The kingdom provides them with money for adventure. Naofumi got the most supplies because his party was small. Naofumi gets acquainted with a girl named Sophia. They walked around the city and ended up at a gun shop. While at the weapon shop, Naofumi is sad because the news about the shield hero being considered the weakest spread so quickly. Naofumi tried not to think about it. When he tried to choose a sword as his weapon, it turned out that the sword resisted him. The system finds a fence. A hero must not use any other weapon than his own. In the end he just bought the armor only. The adventure begins. Naofumi struggles to increase his level. Next to him is Ren, who easily defeats the enemy with his sword. It made Naofumi a little jealous. That night Naofumi and Mine returned to the weapon shop. They bought equipment for mine which was quite expensive. With a bit of seduction, Naofumi ended up buying it. After dinner, Naofumi said goodbye to rest. The next morning, Naofumi is shocked by the loss of all his equipment. Suddenly the royal troops came and took him in front of the king. There was Mine who confessed that last night Naofumi was drunk and tried to rape her. It turns out that Mine was the one who stole Naofumi's equipment. Even the armor was given to Motoyasu. Unable to accept being slandered, Naofumi asks for evidence. A soldier shows a piece of evidence. Everyone looks angry at Naofumi, including the other heroes. Mine blatantly hurts Naofumi's feelings. Naofumi was so deeply humiliated yet couldn't do anything about it. He was angry at being belittled, considered weak and certainly useless. He asked to be returned to his original world, but that was impossible, because to perform the summoning ritual, the 4 current heroes had to die. The other way is to pass through all the currents of the Calamity Wave. With this there is no other way but to struggle with his own path. Naofumi was furious, fighting all the royal soldiers until his shield shone brightly. He left feeling very disappointed. He is very grudge with the kingdom and also the friends of other heroes. By then Naofumi had lost his trust, money, reputation and even his pride as a hero. The news has spread widely, the residents avoid him, even his regular gunsmith wants to beat him even though it doesn't happen. The originally cheerful Naofumi was now even more gloomy and mysterious. He continued to practice increasing his level alone. He also learned to make money and found ways to maximize his shield. As a shield hero Naofumi has a fairly strong defense, but his attacks are still very weak. Of course, to raise the level becomes very difficult. A moment later a merchant came to Naofumi. He offered a solution because Naofumi lacked a party. The merchant invites Naofumi to have a look at his wares. Turns out he was a slave seller. Slaves will not betray and lie to their masters, because they are implanted with strong curse magic. Naofumi tried to look around. Something caught his attention. In the corner of the room he opened the prison curtains. It looks like a little half-human girl who is sick. Okay guys, that's the end of the story of Tate no Yuusha no Nariagari episode 1. I hope it will be entertaining. Help us to continue to develop this channel by clicking the like, comment and subscribe button. If the information from this channel is useful, please share it with your friends. Keep it up and see you in the next episode.